I want to welcome the fact that we're having a debate on special education here in the House, and the Minister, and I congratulate her on her appointment. As you may be aware, that I've raised the issue of the deficiencies within special education provision for children in my own constituency, and particularly in County Monaghan, for some time. I have a list here of all the special schools across the state, and it's stark when you actually look through. There are only 2 counties in this state that do not have a special school. County Monaghan is one of them. When you consider that Dublin has rightly 47, there is a clear anomaly. And if it were an isolation or an isolated position, there could be some logical reason given. But County Monaghan is also, for example, the only county that doesn't have a respite service. And across a whole raft of disability services, families of children with disabilities don't just have to contend with all the myriad of issues that have been raised here in terms of the ongoing struggles and battles that they're expected to go through in order to secure services for their children. They also have to deal with what I consider to be an inbuilt discriminatory practice against some particular regions and some particular counties, and above all, County Monaghan. I've had numerous engagements with your predecessor in respect of this. I've contacted the NCSE more times than I care to remember. And the response I get time and time again is in relation to the provision of a special school in County Monaghan. I want to reassure the Deputy that both my department and the NCSE will continue to monitor and review the need for further new special schools or the expansion of existing special schools in the area. Minister, we need to get beyond that, because here's the problem. There's lots of whispers going around. Some of your own government colleagues are whispering that Monaghan is going to get a special school. We hear that there is anecdotal reports coming from the NCSE that this has been actively considered. We need people to be upfront and tell children and their families that, number one, there is going to be a special school in County Monaghan, outline the location and the efforts and the current status of those efforts. Number two, we need a specific time frame. It is no good, in fact I would consider it cruel, for local TDs to tell families that there will be a special school without indicating as to whether or not it's very likely or even possible that their child might have gone through the entire education system before it's actually delivered. And thirdly, we need to be very clear in terms of who will have access to that school, because one of the suggestions emanating from the aforementioned rumours is that it will be very restricted in terms of the conditions or the particular disabilities of children who will be permitted into that. There's a very good special school, the Holy Family School in Coothill in County Cavan. The problem is that it is over subscribed. I deal with literally dozens of families in County Monaghan that just can't get access to it. In some instances, their children are essentially denied education because they just cannot they cannot deal with mainstream schooling, even in special classrooms, and that needs to change. So, Minister, I'm asking you for a commitment to give responses to those 3 things: that there will be a school, the time frame for its delivery and your commitment that it will be expedited as quickly as possible, and that there will be an inclusive school, that it will not be restrictive in terms of the children that are able to avail of it. Because, as I say, there are children being denied education. There are also children in my county who spend longer on the school bus every morning than I do in my car getting from Carrickmacross to Monaghan, because they are traipsing across virtually the entire length of County Monaghan into County Cavan. That is, again, a cruel practice. And this is the real problem I have with this response that I get from you and your department, that reassures me that you are continuing to monitor the situation. Before the new school at Holy Family in Coothill was even completed, parents service providers, educators were telling the NCSE and your department that there was going to be a need for an additional school in County Monaghan, and no planning was put in place. And it's an all too familiar story when it comes to the provision of special education. It is last minute, it is wait until the demand has pumped up, and that needs to change. So I hope you'll be able to address the 3 specific questions I put to you today.